Tennessee State head coach Eddie George. His team is coming off a 43-20 win against Lindenwood. This week they traveled to Charleston Southern. Coach, some thoughts on your team, and then we'll get some questions.
Yeah, coming off of a win against Lindenwood. Played really well in the first half. You got outscored in the second half, 13-0, or in the fourth quarter. And that's not how I wanted to end our game. It's a sloppy play across the board, lost focus toward the end, and looking to clean it up this week in terms of learning how to finish. And I really feel like our guys are really responding well to the challenges that lie ahead. We're in a great position right now to finish off the season strong. The conference is going to be what's going to be, but my main focus is making sure we're playing our best football right now in the month of November. The last 2 years that I've been here, collectively our record in November is 1-5, and we want to finish strong and let the chips fall where they may in terms of the conference. And we just got a really tough schedule ahead of us. This weekend with Charleston Southern, they pose a great challenge for us. They are 2-1 with likable opponents that we played: Kennesaw State, Lindenwood, and UT Martin. They play those games tight. And that's the kind of game I expect going in there on senior day. So this team is well coached. They fly around. They have a multiple front. Their offensive line really comes off the ball. I really don't look at last week as a barometer of who they are. It's kind of an anomaly in terms of where that game came from. But for the most part, they've been consistently in a lot of these ball games. So it's going to be a tough battle for us.
Okay, thank you, Coach. We'll get some questions. Mike?
Yeah, thanks, Jose. My text is not working. Eddie, can you talk a little bit more about Southern kind of team? It looks like they used two quarterbacks, kind of like you do, but their quarterback was hurt last week. Do you expect him back? And will they pose offensively and defensively?
Mike, can you repeat that again? You went out just a little bit.
Okay.
Sorry about
that. I just wanted to talk about Charleston Southern a little bit. I know they use two quarterbacks, but they've actually used three quarterbacks, with one of them being injured. What do you expect at the quarterback position, and what do you expect from them offensively?
Offensively, yeah, they do. They still run elements of their option game, which is concerning. Anytime you play an option team with not a whole lot to prepare for, that's going to be a great challenge for our defense to have great eye discipline and have gap discipline, because one of these things can pop. They believe in the ball control offense. When you look at their offense, you look at the ugly runs. They're getting 3 and 2, and you can't afford to be soft in the middle, and they're going to shorten the game, and that's why they've been in a lot of these ball games. I mean, when you look at the scores of these games, they're close. They played Martin tough. At Martin, held that offense to 17 points. On the defensive side, they run a multiple defense. Very active up front. Their guy at linebacker, Malik Barnes, number 9, is their dude. They have a strong safety in number 16, Davion Williams, who comes down and creates havoc. So their front is really, really stout. They play much bigger than when they appear on tape, and it's a team that's well coached. They're sound in all 3 phases of the game: the kicking game, the return game, and they're mentally and physically tough. Their record doesn't indicate just how good they are. And us coming in there on a road game, with a team with momentum, I mean, this could really turn their season around for their seniors, this being the last home game for them. So that's what I see. I expect a physical, hard-fought game that could look much like a 9-on-7 drill.
My last question, you mentioned that the momentum. What would you talk about that the intent that brings? And was the second half anything to be concerned about maybe that breaking the momentum? Did you hear me?
Yeah, you went out just a little bit, Mike. I heard something about the momentum.
Yeah, just talk about your team with the momentum it's got going into this game.
Yeah, that's having a month that we had, it feels good. But I think I know there's still room for improvement. I challenge the team to play our best ball right now, where we're hitting on all cylinders, where we're able to, run the football, throw the football to win, have great special teams play in all four phases of that, and our defense is giving us a chance to win and just to be consistent with that, and not to take a week or a day for granted. So for us, it's important for us to have a very good practice week. That being Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and if we do that, if we're locked in, it gives us the best chance to win. So that's kind of where our momentum is in the everyday routine of how we approach the day, where our minds are, what the challenges are. Our guys are really excited about the opportunity of playing late in November and early December, and this is something that this group has not experienced, and really Tennessee State hasn't experienced in quite some time. So we're looking to break through that threshold, and I told them it's not going to be easy. It's fun, it gets better, but it definitely gets harder.
Thanks, Eddie.
Hey, Brandon, any questions?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good morning, Coach. How you doing?
Hey, Brandon, how are you, my man?
Pretty good. Pretty good. I can't complain. I can't complain. Wanted to ask you. You've kind of touched on, your athletic background, which we all know you're the Heisman Trophy, the NFL All-Pro, all-time great. But you touched on it particularly in your interview that you did with Shannon Sharp, like your humble beginnings and the work that you put in to get to the level that you ultimately achieved. Have you shared kind of some of your past with your team in terms of trying to get them to understand the work that it takes to get to where they want to go? And if you have you noticed them picking up on some of those things and that you're trying to instill into your ball club?
Brandon, that's a great question, man. Every day I try to give them something. I try not to overwhelm them with too much. Sometimes they can, you just like to hear yourself talk and you can tune some things out. But I just rely on, try to find the right time to let them know about what it takes, what I had to go through, both as a team and individually to accomplish some things, and let them know, number one, that adversity is your friend. I went to the good book and talked about James 1, and I'll paraphrase it, and talks about how counting all on joy for trials and tribulations, for it's going to bring the best out in you. And through my trials, whether it was going to Fort Union Military Academy, not having any scholarship offers, and going back for a postgraduate year, to take a chance that everybody thought was crazy to go back and to garner scholarships and attention from Ohio State and other schools, and then go to Ohio State and fumble twice at the goal line and have 100,000 fans boo you, and to overcome that as an 18-year-old, to really dig deep within myself, to work hard, so I constantly draw on that to say, hey, you have to run toward your obstacles, run toward the challenges. These challenges are blessings. We never lose, we learn. The only way we learn is taking the wisdom from that and getting better. So I'm always relying on my past experiences, both on the field and definitely off the football field, because if I'm coaching that person, if I'm tapping into their soul and I know what they really want, I'm able to coach them hard, challenge them hard, love on them hard, and we're starting to see the changes in that. So it's always something I'm working on internally, working inside out, that I know I'll see the results I aspire to see if I work on the soul of this football team.
Thanks, Coach. And I guess kind of a brief follow up on that. And you kind of said you kind of touched on it earlier in the call here. Like I said, you all are 6-2 right now, and not only is that the best mark in several years, but obviously since you've been the coach at TSU. So really, most of your team has not experienced this success at the collegiate level. How obviously you've got experience as a winner. How have you been able to impart some of not only what it has taken to get to this level, but once you get there, this is just the beginning in terms of how they can keep it on and take it to the next level?
Well, the next step is to continue to double down on things that got us here. We cannot, great example is complacency will come to collect. When success rears its head and you start to see the fruits of your labor, complacency will come in and tell you it's okay to take this day off or cut a corner here or don't give as much effort here. Don't finish there. You're not quite as fresh as you were in the beginning of the season, so therefore you can take some plays off, and that all accumulates into you falling short of your ultimate goal. And at this stage in the season, this is when you really double down. And this is where I challenge my team to take ownership of this team and to hold your teammates accountable at a very high level. Sacrifice a little bit more. Spend time in the playbook a little bit more. When I walk in the team meeting room on Tuesday morning, if I ask you a question about the opponent, you should be able to rip that off. You shouldn't have to wait for your coaches to give you the game plan that morning. If you are really a championship team, you should know your opponent. You should know what they do. You should know cover one, cover two. That's what they're in. You should know what fronts they're in on critical downs. Now you're just fine tuning it and seeing it in real action and allowing it to go. Because by the time that's a day wasted. Sunday and Monday are an opportunity to make that transition from last week's game, learn, and then delve right back into your opponent. So I'm getting their minds on the work in that and not to relax or get complacent or think that it's going to be easy or be satisfied with winning just 6 games. We're just knocking on the door. And I said the beginning of the season starts in November. So that's the mindset, and that's what we're being built for. And the weather's turning, it's getting cold. The leaves are changing colors. It's hitting Halloween, and you got Thanksgiving coming up, and it's going to be uncomfortable. And we have to learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable and really relish in that and really find out our identity and who we are in this last month of the regular season.
Well, thank you, Coach. I appreciate that, and good luck with the matchup this week.
Thank you, Brandon. I appreciate you, brother.
No problem. You too.
Okay, once again, as Brandon just said, good luck to you this weekend, Coach, and thank you for your time today.
Appreciate it. Have a great week.